Imagine me.
I know.
I said yes. And I get this?
In the early 2000s, The Bachelor was a national obsession. One man, 24 women, one mansion, and a whole lot of emotional instability disguised as romance. It was messy, dramatic, and strangely hypnotic. The kind of show you swore you didn't watch, but somehow knew every contestant's name by week 3. For a while it worked. The roses, the heartbreak, the accidental hot mic moments. It all felt like reality TV at its chaotic best. But then something started to change. The sparkle dimmed. The emotions started feeling rehearsed. And somewhere along the way, The Bachelor stopped being about finding love and started becoming something else entirely. You didn't notice it at first, but now you won't be able to unsee it. The year is 2002. The Bachelor premiered on ABC, created by TV producer Mike Fleiss, a man whose resume reads like a checklist of shows that absolutely could not be made in 2025. The concept was brilliantly chaotic. One man dates a group of women simultaneously, eliminating them one by one until he proposes to the last one standing, ideally before the credits roll. It was part soap opera, part dating show, and part slow-moving emotional train wreck. The show was sold as a fairy tale, but let's be real, it was dating Hunger Games with roses. The Bachelor didn't just set women up to fall in love, it set them up to cry in stairwells, spiral in confessionals, and pretend champagne tastes better when it's served on a helicopter. The mansion became a pressure cooker, where emotions boiled over, friendships exploded, and grown adults said things like, "I'm falling for him so hard, and I've literally known him for 4 days." And somehow, we bought it. America tuned in week after week to watch one man speed date 25 women while slowly forgetting all their names. It was absurd, and that's what made it magic. And it worked. The show exploded in popularity. Viewers were hooked on the drama, the fantasy dates, the dramatic rose ceremonies, and the occasional meltdown over who didn't get enough one-on-one time. It was escapism, it was cheesy, but it knew it was cheesy, and that made it fun. Until it forgot. For a while, The Bachelor was reality TV gold. It birthed iconic spin-offs like The Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, and Bachelor Pad, which was basically Love Island, for people who still said, "I'm here for the right reasons." This was the era when The Bachelor truly had its grip on America's unhinged attention span. Monday nights became a national event. Office break rooms turned into debate clubs about whether someone should have gotten a rose or been launched into a volcano. Twitter was flooded with live reactions, fantasy leagues were formed, and contestants became overnight celebrities before influencer culture was even a thing. And the drama? Beautifully unfiltered. Champagne, stealing, helicopter crying, mascara-smudged chaos that felt like watching a Hallmark movie slowly unravel into a Greek tragedy. It wasn't about logic, it was about feelings, betrayal, and the occasional hot tub sobbing session. Back then, The Bachelor was peak escapism, and we couldn't look away.
He said, "Oh, are you okay?"
What?
You had real characters like Trista and Ryan, the franchise's fairy tale couple, Jason Mesnick, who proposed, cried, and unproposed in record time, Juan Pablo, who somehow made being The Bachelor feel like a punishment. The drama was authentic, or at least felt authentic. It wasn't about followers or brand deals. It was about people risking emotional collapse on national television for the vague promise of a fiancé and a free vacation. And we loved it. But then came the real villain. Instagram. Once contestants figured out that even a night one elimination could land you 200,000 followers and a collagen sponsorship, the show stopped being about love and started being about auditions. You're not competing for a ring, you're competing for a revolved contract. Suddenly, the cast stopped looking like regular people and started looking like they were AI generated by a Lululemon marketing intern. You've got 25 nearly identical influencers pretending to be surprised by a helicopter date while mentally calculating how this will look on their grid.
I cannot believe we are in the middle of the skyscrapers. Oh my God.
This is awesome.
It's not about falling in love. It's about landing enough screen time to get verified before the Men Tell All special. Everyone's playing a role now, the quirky one, the villain, the trauma story. And it's all tailored for maximum engagement. You're not watching people fall in love, you're watching them build personal brands in real time. You've got contestants who show up with pre-rehearsed catchphrases, vague business ventures, and a 10-step strategy for how to transition from heartbreak to lifestyle influencer. And by the time the season wraps, they've already launched a podcast called Roses and Real Talk and started promoting a discount code for oat milk. Love isn't the end game anymore. It's becoming the content funnel. And even worse, the formula never changed. Every season is the same. Group dates that look like deleted scenes from Fear Factor. One contestant who's usually not here for the right reasons. A villain the producers clearly keep around for ratings, and one person who opens up about trauma during a candlelit dinner in a medieval barn. It's like watching the same wedding slideshow 29 times, but somehow with less chemistry. At this point, The Bachelor has less to do with love and more to do with producers pulling emotional fire alarms just to keep the show alive. And the controversies? Oh, they've practically become part of the show's branding. The Bachelor has been called out for everything, from lack of diversity to emotional exploitation, and somehow they still act surprised every time it trends on Twitter for the wrong reasons. There was the season where producers let a contestant with a girlfriend back home stay just for the drama. The time they edited in ominous music over someone's panic attack, and that infamous Bachelor in Paradise incident in 2017 that shut down production over alleged misconduct, only for the show to return weeks later with a casual, "So anyway, back to the tequila-fueled makeouts." And like clockwork, the show finds new ways to toe the line between entertainment and ethically questionable reality TV experiment. And each time, they issue the same bland statement: "We take these matters very seriously." Cool. See you next season. Of course, we have to talk about the scandals, because if the Bachelor franchise were a person, it would have a lawyer on speed dial. In 2021, longtime host Chris Harrison stepped down after defending a contestant's attendance at an antebellum-themed fraternity party. His interview on Extra became a PR disaster so bad, it felt like it was produced by the competition.
I honestly get 50-50 trolled on how bad I am on both sides of the aisle.
There have also been accusations of racial bias in casting, a total mishandling of contestants' mental health, and multiple instances where producers allegedly manipulated emotional breakdowns for better ratings. The franchise finally had its first Black Bachelor in 2021, after only 19 years and 25 seasons in. Progress? Sure. If your definition of progress is mild panic after a public relations firestorm. And let's be honest, nobody believes this show is about love anymore. The proposals feel forced. The chemistry feels flatter than the champagne. And by the time After the Final Rose airs, half the couples are already dodging breakup rumors on Instagram. Even the most diehard fans are watching with one eyebrow raised like, okay, but how soon until they launch a podcast about vulnerability and monetize their breakup? The Bachelor used to be about the fantasy of love. Now it's just about brand expansion through joint couples TikToks. The show still tries to sell us on the journey, but we all know the only real destination is a podcast, a protein powder deal, or a first-class ticket to Bachelor in Paradise. Every I'm Falling in Love with You feels like it was written by ChatGPT on low power mode. And the fantasy suite? Please. It's less about intimacy and more about negotiating Instagram collabs under candlelight. At this point, the most stable relationship on the show is between the contestants and their ring lights. The audience isn't rooting for love anymore. We're just waiting to see who soft launches their breakup with a vague Instagram caption about growth. And behind it all, the producers, pulling strings like marionette matchmakers with a god complex. Producers have more power than the actual Bachelor. They pick the date cards, stir up feuds off camera, and even coach contestants into breakdowns like emotional stage moms. Contestants have come out post-show saying they were sleep deprived, denied phone access, and encouraged to open up, which is Bachelor speak for please trauma dump for ratings. And those heartfelt confessions, often filmed multiple times to get the right lighting and tear placement. It's not reality, it's emotional Hunger Games, produced by people in headsets, holding clipboards full of chaos. At this point, the most authentic relationship on the show is between the producers and the edit button. By manipulating dates, plant drama, and even edit conversations to make contestants look way worse or way more innocent than they really are. They decide who gets a hero edit, who gets the villain arc, and who mysteriously disappears halfway through the season because they refuse to cry on cue. They've turned emotional manipulation into a business model. The Bachelor isn't just fake, it's professionally fake. It's scripted chaos with commercial breaks and free wine. And the worst part, everyone's in on it now. The Bachelor sucks now because it traded sincerity for sponsorships. It swapped love stories for Instagram likes. And it evolved from a guilty pleasure to a reality show where everyone's pretending to be in love so they can launch a fitness app. The format's outdated, the casting's predictable, and the most believable connection each season is between the contestants and their future brand managers. The Bachelor didn't just fall off. It fully soft launched its own downfall. And now it's just a sparkly engagement ring wrapped around a product placement deal.